Whew. Hey everybody. Waiting for some people to get on here. It is hot as hell right now. We shot this in a few places. Hey everybody. Whew. Got a quick live for you guys tonight. Hopefully we can get through this fairly quickly. I wanted to get on here a little earlier, but mommy duties call. And I'm doing this because I've been getting so many requests for this video. So I'm doing it here live. Peace everybody. I'm doing it here live. And then I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel. Possibly Instagram, I'm not sure. But I will be fanning because I am upstairs in my office and it is burning up hot. Like the air isn't reaching upstairs, but it's like super cold downstairs. Like freezing cold, like I need to be downstairs. But I'm doing my live here. Just that's because that's literally the only way baby James is gonna go to sleep, because he right across the room away from me. He acting my ass. Like, I don't know. Turn it back on. Alright, so let me share this in a few more places real quick, and then we're going to get started with the info. We're going to be talking about the Mercury and retrograde. I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to just flow through the energy, as well as tips for each zodiac sign for the retrograde. And if you haven't already, look on my YouTube channel. I do have an in-depth video explaining what a Mercury retrograde is, and I will probably share that after this, like share that link. There we go. Hey everybody. Okay. It's hot. I'm gonna be fanning. Woo, Lord. It's not turning on? Oh, okay. It's just the internet trying to start back up. So just be patient with it, okay? Okay? Y'all need to lay down to get ready to go to bed anyways. Or these children. Okay, so know that I will probably be doing mommy duties in between here. And sorry that I look sweaty because I am. It's hot. And after I do this, I'm going to take a shower. All right, let me share this in one more place, and then we're going to get started. Okay, so Mercury retrograde Mercury goes into retrograde on the 29th of this month, which is in a few days. Okay. Mercury goes into retrograde 3 times a year, and it lasts for 3 months. Not 3 months. It lasts for 3 weeks, and with a 2-week shadow period before and after the retrograde. So let's say about 7 weeks altogether that will feel the effects of a Mercury retrograde. Also, Saturn has went into retrograde. I think Saturn goes into retrograde tomorrow. And so I'll talk a little bit about the Saturn in retrograde. But Saturn is going to be in retrograde for 5 months. So first thing I want to tell you guys, when you hear about retrogrades, stop being afraid. Like, people get so afraid and think retrogrades are the worst thing ever. And retrogrades are really good. They can have positive benefits, just as much a confusion that they can bring. They can bring a lot of positivity. It's just knowing how to work with the energy, because everything is a flow of energy. Everything is always constantly flowing, and that's what we have to learn how to do. So when Mercury goes into retrograde, it affects communication, because Mercury is the planet of communication. So talking, technology, traveling, all those things are an area of transportation. So you may notice you go to the grocery store, you know, the cash register may mess up, the card reader may mess up, and the attendant may say, oh, we've been having issues with this all day. 9 times out of 10, it's a Mercury in retrograde. Okay, Kari. Mercury in retrograde, again, delays traveling. It can cause a lot of communication issues. So a lot of people may be feisty, arguing, short with each other, short temper, a lot of misunderstandings. Mercury in retrogrades can also bring back exes. So you may have people from your past that pop in your mind, pop in a DM, you know, somebody, you know, from the past sending you that hey text. All this stuff is Mercury retrograde energy, okay? So this particular Mercury retrograde is in this sign of Gemini. And this is kind of like a good, Mercury is usually good with Gemini because Gemini is an air sign. Why is he crying? Ignore my children. And so with this Mercury in retrograde being in Gemini, it's going to put extra emphasis on communication issues and information. And I'm looking over here because I'm reading my notes. So I got some notes for you guys so I can stay on task. Kari, you got to be quiet. Okay, try the remote again, Kari. All right. So it is going to put an emphasis on communication issues and information. So misinformation is going to be very big these next few weeks. So it's very important that everybody check your sources before you react to any type of information you're given. Okay? With Mercury being a Gemini, it will affect that very, very strongly. Okay, this Mercury retrograde is also going to be squared with Neptune. So if you don't know these astrological terms, squares and all that other kind of stuff, make sure you get you a birth chart. Going to the Natural Woman shop. You know, my birth charts really get you that, you know, the basic terminology when it comes to astrology. Okay, so anytime you have signs and will have planets squaring each other, it's going to cause conflict. And so with Mercury squaring with Neptune, and Neptune is like I don't want to say a mysterious, but Neptune is always that illusion planet, so to speak. And when the retrograde, Mercury retrograde squaring with Neptune, it may cause a lot of haziness when it comes to our thoughts and cause a lot more confusion. So it's going to be very, very important to be very just patient and not so quick to jump to conclusions. Checking your sources, not believing everything that's given to you, you know, trusting your intuition. That's going to be very, very important during this time. Check all your sources. Like I say, I don't care if somebody comes and tell you something, you know, you want to check and make sure it's coming from the right source, because with this energy, a lot of things can be misused, misunderstood, misinterpreted, you know, and a lot of those things will be revealed during this time. Okay, so let's get into how this retrograde is going to affect everybody in the sign, starting with Aries. So of course the retrograde is going to affect us all in the areas that I just mentioned: communication, traveling, exes coming back, all that kind of stuff. But depending on your sign, the retrograde can affect you differently. Also, you want to look in your birth charts to see where Mercury is at in your birth charts. What signs are, you know, Mercury is in your birth charts, because that will be affected during this time as well. So for the sign of Aries, all my Aries babies out there, okay, during this retrograde, communication issues will be at an all-time high in how you're communicating, okay? And it can easily cause drama and misunderstandings. So it's going to be very important for my Aries to listen carefully and speak thoughtfully. This is going to be very hard for Aries because Aries are impulsive. Y'all like to say the first thing that's on your mind without thinking about it. It's going to be very important that you think about what you're saying before you say it, because it may come across the wrong way and cause a lot of drama that you necessarily don't need, okay? So Aries, be very, very careful with how you're communicating, how your words are coming out. Slow down a bit. Think about it, you know, before you say it, okay? That's the best advice for Aries during this time. So we're going to move on to Taurus. So Tauruses, all my Tauruses out there, this Mercury retrograde is going to affect your money matters, okay? Tauruses, This is going to affect money, so watch your bank account, watch your spending. Okay, Gary, go lay down. Watch your spending. There may be potential delays with payments. Avoid overspending. Like, be very, very careful. I know my Taurus people, y'all love money, y'all love spending, y'all like luxury, y'all love materials, but during this retrograde, please be careful of your spending. Be watchful. Things may be delayed, things may pop up, and then if those things do, know that they're going to fix themselves when the retrograde is over. But it's good for you to know this now, so you won't be panicking and in a rut because of this is happening. Make sure that you read all fine print for anything dealing with finances during this period. Okay, all Tauruses, read all the fine print and then save all your receipts during this time. Okay, that's gonna be super duper important for my Taurus people. All right, so now we're moving to Gemini. Geminis, this retrograde may cause some mix-ups with how you express yourself. So people may not get what you're saying. People may have a hard time understanding you because of this retrograde. So you want to just make sure that you are expressing yourself, you know, very thoroughly. Be very careful with your words, and be careful that you're not sending mixed signals. Okay, so you just want to make sure that you're just being careful of how you're expressing yourself. And for real, to be honest, y'all, when I tell y'all to be careful with how you're expressing yourself and things of that nature, you can't control how people perceive your things. Some people just ain't got them all if it wasn't a retrograde, or if it was a retrograde. So, you know, don't overstress yourself trying to make sure everybody understands you. But know that that's probably going to be something that's highlighted during this time. So you just want to make sure that you're taking the time to make sure that you're expressing yourself carefully and you're being very, very crystal clear. Because sometimes you can be decisive, sometimes you can be unsure, and sometimes you can send mixed signals. Okay, so all my Geminis out there, don't be having nobody fall in love with you this Mercury retrograde and you be like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I did to make this person fall in love with me. Now they here and I don't know what to do. Like, make yourself very clear, Geminis. Okay, so moving on to Cancers. Cancers, during this retrograde, it's going to be very, very important for you to be in tune with your higher self. Being in tune with your higher self, with your spirit. And the reason why this is going to be important for you to be in tune with your higher self, because the Mercury retrograde is going to make it, you know, a bit difficult for you to access your intuition. Especially, we about to come into a full moon. It's about to be an eclipse. It's a lot of stuff going on. So, you know, Cancers, is going to be very important that you become in tune and be very, very strong in that. Okay, and don't worry, Cancers, if you feel like you are off, that you don't, like you're, you know, you ain't in tune, you're trying to seek help, seek guidance, this is the perfect time for you to seek out friends who are more intuitive, to get readings that are more intuitive, so they can help you just stay aligned with your feelings. And it's okay to lean for their insight. Just make sure you trust them, or whoever, and you know, you have a good space to be able to talk about your feelings and how you feel. Okay, so your intuition is going to be a big thing, Cancer, so make sure you just, you know, taking that time to meditate more and all that good stuff. Leos, your life could get very messy during this retrograde, Leos. Messy in the sense of disorganization. Okay, so it's very important for my Leos, if you're doing any type of projects around work, working with groups, working with a team, it's important that you stay as organized as possible, because that can get very, very messy and a bit chaotic, especially working with those things. Be aware of delays. Delays will happen during the Mercury in retrograde, Leo, so be okay with that. Don't let that stress you out. Expect that. Leave room with your planning for that to happen so you can be cool. And it's very, very important, Leos, during this time that you steer clear of gossip and rumors. This is not the time to be messy, Leos. Stay away from gossip, rumors, because if you don't, you're going to get caught up and it's going to bring a lot of messy drama. Okay, so just stay away, stay clear, try to stay organized, stay focused. Okay, my Leos, Let's see. Now we're moving to Virgos. I hope this information is helping you guys. And then I'm going to also make sure I give you guys tips on how you can get the best out of this Mercury retrograde. And this will be for everybody. But for Virgos, your life, your work life will be heavily affected during this retrograde, okay? So avoid starting new work endeavors, okay? So the one thing I didn't say about the Mercury retrograde for everybody is that during the Mercury in retrograde, it's not a good time to start nothing. It's not a good time to start things, start projects, you know, sign new contracts, enter into new situations that were not discussed previous before the time period. Now, it's different if you already been working on something prior to the retrograde and, you know, you're trying to finish it. That's something different. But new stuff, avoid it, especially for my Virgos during this time. Be aware to not sign any binding contracts or get yourself in situations that are brand new during this time, okay? Make sure, Virgos, that you got your I's dotted and your T's crossed. It is not the time to be lazy or lax, which is hard for Virgos because Virgos are very good with being very detailed because they earth signs. Earth signs are good with details and, you know, getting everything together and on in alignment. So make sure you're up on that, Virgos, during this time. Don't start anything new. Don't get yourself into no binding contracts because it probably won't end well. Libras, during this retrograde, this is not a good time to travel or set up any big trips. Libras. Now, this does not mean trips that you have already planned before the retrograde. Things that you planned before the retrograde are okay. It's the things that you're planning during the retrograde that you don't need to do. So don't plan anything big, Libras, during this retrograde. Wait until the retrograde is over. Yes, I did do Aries. Aries was first, Antoinette. And I think with Aries, I said communication. Be very mindful. You're going to, you know, if you're not careful with your words, you're going to start some drama. So just be very careful with how you're communicating and being thoughtful with your words. Don't be so quick to say everything that comes to your head because it can be misunderstood. Libras, again, be careful with trips, plannings, big trips. Expect delays when it comes to transportation and traveling. Like, expect those things to happen, Libras. That's for me. Like, I'm doing a lot of traveling during this retrograde. Things that were pre-planned. Okay, go sit down, Kari. Things that were pre-planned, but I will make room to, you know, that transportation issues may happen, snags may happen. So, you know, just make plans for that and be patient with it. Save all major plans, Libras, for after the retrograde. Okay, so anything that you plan in Libras, just wait till after the retrograde. Don't plan it now. You can probably, you know, be thinking it in your head, but don't start signing contracts or, you know, planning or trying to start off something new during this time, Libras. Scorpios, during this retrograde, avoid getting involved with any loans or money making projects. Be careful of your promises that you give to people and contracts. Like, don't bind yourself to anything. Be very careful during this time. Scorpios, is going to be very important that you be straightforward with your agreements and your debts. So it ain't time to be shady, Scorpios. Y'all know y'all got that in y'all. It's not the time for that. Be straightforward, be honest, and lay everything on the table the way it is. Avoid resentment, Scorpios. I know this is hard because y'all like to be mad and evil. Avoid that. Do some extra meditation if possible because it's not going to end good. It's going to be more stress. Avoid bad blood and keep your business to yourself, okay? Keep your business to yourself. Avoid just negative energy or trying to be revengeful or evil, you know, or those things, Scorpio. It is not the time for that. Sagittarius, know that this retrograde will affect your relationships and it will affect the communication in your relationships. So know that relationship stuff could get messy for the Sagittarius. And if that's the case, just make sure you're taking extra time to check up on your partner and making sure that you're being clear. Being clear, y'all. And I'm sorry if I look sweaty, y'all. It's hot where I'm at. I gotta do my hair and everything. But I wanted to do this video because I know I wouldn't be able to do it over the next few days because I'm traveling and stuff. So I wanted to get this out the way before we go into the retrograde. Yeah, and that's about it. You know, Scorpio, Sagittarius, relationships. Be careful. It's gonna probably cause some drama. Just be very careful with your words. Capricorns, during this retrograde, know that your schedule is probably going to be off a bit, and I know that seems simple, but that will affect some Capricorns. Capricorns like to stay on task, so know that your schedule may fall off a bit. Timing may fall off. People may not be on time. You may not be on time. You may have, you know, some issues. That's okay. Don't panic. Don't trip. Go with the flow. Make sure you triple checking your details, Capricorns, and leave extra time for yourself. Okay, if you know time is gonna be messed up, just plan to leave extra time so you can be cool, because if you're not, it's gonna cause more stress on you, and who likes to be stressed? Aquarius, dating could get a little messy. And you know what, I didn't write my notes for my Pisces. I do have Pisces. I got Pisces. I'm good. So Aquarius, dating could get a little messy during this time, okay? So make sure you're being upfront about how you feel. Avoid making major decisions when it comes to your love life, okay? And the reason why this is important, because you may love this person right now, but when it's retrograde over, you ain't gonna feel the same way, and you done made this person fall in love with you. Y'all done, you know, plan to get married, and you don't feel like it no more. So don't make any hasty decisions with your relationships, Aquarius. And just be very, very clear. Know that the relationship area will be messy, so try to avoid that if possible. Keep flings temporary. So if you do have a fling, Aquarius, during this time, if you do have any flings popping off, know that they're going to be temporary. Do not make a short time thing turn into something long term, because then you're going to have yourself involved with a partner who is full of SHIT. And you don't want that. So last but not least, we got Pisces. Okay. So Pisces, know that during this Mercury in retrograde, there's going to be added stress into your personal life. So it's going to be very important to keep yourself drama free. Okay, Kari, keep yourself drama free. Avoid any major changes in your living situation. Okay, so with this, it's just meaning, you know, in your living situation, you know, you may argue with your roommate, you may be ready to move out, you know, or things of that nature in that area. Be very mindful of that. Know that the retrograde is causing the tension to be high, and know that when the retrograde is over, everything's going to settle back down. So don't be hasty to make decisions during this retrograde when it's concerning, you know, your living arrangements and things of that nature. Expect tensions to be high in the home during this time, Pisces. And then know that communications dealing with home repairs, rent payments, and things of that nature, if you're having issues with those, know that those possibly could take a little longer or be delayed because of the retrograde. So just be patient and don't stress yourself out about it, okay? And so that's just a little spiel of what all the signs can expect to, you know, to deal with during the Mercury in retrograde. This may happen for some of you guys, it may not, but it's just good to know. All in all, during a Mercury in retrograde, like I said before, it's going to affect communication, it's going to affect traveling, it's going to affect technology. This is not the best time to buy new technology items. If you do buy new technology items, keep your receipts, make sure you get warranties on them. It's not the best time to start new contracts, enter into new contracts, start new business endeavors unless they have already been previously talked about and previously talked about, and you already tried to work on it before, and it's time to finish it up. Now, we talked about the things that you shouldn't do, things you should be aware of. Now, let's talk about the things that you need to do during this retrograde, because like I said before, retrogrades are good. Retrogrades are positive. They have good, just as much good as they do negative. And so when you have a retrograde, I always tell people, think about the redo, renew, reset, recharge. Those are the words for Mercury in retrograde. So it's important automatically when we're going through a Mercury in retrograde to naturally slow down. You know, finish up old business. If you got projects that are lingering and need to be finished up, now is the best time to finish them up. And a lot of times with the Mercury in retrograde, it's pushing you to do that. It's pushing you to get things finished. It's pushing you to finish up the things that you've been pushing to the wayside, okay? That's the area you need to go. When the Mercury is in retrograde, slow down a little bit, okay? You don't have to be hasty. Be patient. Be patient with others. Know that other people are going to be short-tempered. Know that. It's the retrograde. So just be patient. Be calm. Don't try to force things, okay? I said, you know, don't start anything new. Know that your exes will pop up during the Mercury retrograde. They may pop up in your mind. They may pop up in your DMs. They may pop up in your phone. Don't fall for that, because when the retrograde is over, they're going to be gone too. Yeah. Anybody got any questions before I wrap it up? Because my ass about to get in the shower. It's hot as hell. It's hot as hell. Sitting here, see if I have any questions. Y'all, my boobs look super big right here on camera. I don't know. I can't, no matter how much weight I lost, boob weight is not going away. Like, these are stinking with me. I'm going to be a triple D forever, I guess. Like, it's ridiculous. Super ridiculous, y'all. But yes, that's the retrograde, y'all. So a retrograde isn't negative. It shouldn't be nothing scared about. You know, it's the perfect time for you to finish your unfinished business. If anything, that's what the retrogrades are good for. And I guarantee that if you go into this retrograde with that particular focus, you will get the most out of this retrograde. I actually enjoy retrogrades because that gives me a chance to kind of slow down and finish what needs to be finished. Know that we're also entering into a Saturn retrograde period. Saturn is going to be retrograde starting tomorrow, and it's going to stay in retrograde for 5 months. So what this means is when Saturn goes into retrograde, the planet Saturn is that stern disciplinarian being that we have in our life. Saturn will get your ass in line. Saturn is like that military sergeant that is like, it's like Major Payne, okay? So when Saturn goes into retrograde, it's the perfect time to get things in order in your life, wherever that may be. Particularly in your day-to-day routine or in your work area. It may slow down money. So know if your money is getting slow right now, it's because of these retrogrades, and they will let up as the energy goes up. Know that we're also going into a full moon during this time. And I always tell people, when we're dealing with full moons are going to heighten the energy that's in the area. So what's ever been lying under the surface, know during a full moon, that energy is going to be heightened. So if somebody's been, hold on, Kari, if somebody's been getting on your nerves and pissing you off and you just been suppressing it, ignoring it, I guarantee during the retrograde, well, during the full moon, it's going to come to a head. Okay, and then with the retrograde, it's going to add a little extra sauce to it. So it's just very, very important, y'all, that y'all, you know, take your time, not be hasty, chill, relax, be calm, get up on your meditation, have your crystals together. If you really want to know how these retrogrades will affect you specifically, you need to get your birth chart done. You need to look at your birth, or if you do have your birth chart, look at where, you know, look at what signs and planets are in the area of these placements, okay? So a lot of you may have, you know, your Mercury in Libra and things of that nature. That's going to be affected during this retrograde. So it's good to know what other planets that you have in your chart and how that will affect you as well. And if you're interested in getting your birth chart done, you can check out the Natural Woman shop. I'm doing birth charts. I'm thinking about doing another birth chart full moon sale tomorrow. I haven't decided if I was going to do it yet, but if I do it, I will share it on social media. But yeah, I hope this information helps you guys. Know that on my YouTube channel, I do have an in-depth video that goes into detail about retrogrades and what you can expect, the do's and don'ts, even more detailed than what I talked about today. Specifically today, I just really wanted to talk about how the retrogrades will affect different signs during this time. So I hope this video helps you guys. Thank you to the dear sister who asked me to do this video. I know people have been inboxing me asking me, Azizah, when are you coming back to YouTube? We miss your videos. We miss your information. Y'all just know that I had to just, like I've been saying, I just been working on myself and getting myself better, because I can't be great for you guys if I'm not great to myself. So I've been getting my health in order, things in my personal life, things with my business in order. You know, Natural Woman is hiring. So it's just a lot of stuff that's happening right now that I got to get into place so I can be the best when it comes to giving the people what they need. Okay, so know that I'm slowly getting things together. Got some great content coming along. This video will be on my YouTube channel tonight, so I'll put that on there for you guys. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you got any more questions, you can comment, send me a message. I will get to it when I can. But if that's no more questions, y'all, I enjoyed being with you guys this evening. I hope you enjoy. My ass about to get in the shower and relax, and I will holla at y'all next time. Peace.